So you've got news about an annual event taking place this weekend here in the French capital and elsewhere. That's the European Heritage Days, when multiple public and private buildings open to the public.
Yes, well, this is your chance to push open doors that are normally firmly closed to people like you and me. For example, in many years, you can go and visit the inside of the Élysée Palace, where the president works and lives. There's always a really long line for that one. And this year's theme is architectural heritage. So some architectural gems of different style in the spotlight. For example, there's the very modernist French Communist Party headquarters in Paris. That's been used in loads of films. You can see the interiors there, really 1960s, space age, emblematic of its designer, Oscar Niemeyer, the Brazilian architect. Now, Niemeyer was a great admirer of a predecessor of his, the Franco-Swiss architect Le Corbusier. His Villa Savoie there, you can see it is outside of Paris. That's going to be open to the public for visits as well. Very important in terms of architectural history, that one. And then, of course, you've got much more contemporary architecture. You can go and see the Institut du Monde Arabe, the Arab World Institute, on the banks of the Seine. Inside, the interesting thing here is that Jean Nouvel, the French architect who designed it, made a reference to North African and Middle Eastern architecture with these really clever windows that react to the light and let more or less light in. You can see them there. And then one that's not architectural, but I noticed with great interest, was that Alain Ducasse, the Michelin star chef,
my favorite,
opening up his chocolate and coffee workshops for the first time. They're in the 11th arrondissement in Paris. They'll be giving guided tours of the roastery and the kitchen so you can see where all the magic happens. No guarantees for free samples of chocolate.
I'll be there to test it out, I think, Olivia. I'm not going to lie. Well, in other culture news, you mentioned a couple of Parisian landmarks, of course, there. One structure that's been in the spotlight recently is, of course, Notre-Dame. It's welcoming visitors this weekend as well, who will have access to not one, but both of its towers. Tell us more.
Yeah, and the first visitor this morning, I have to say, was Emmanuel Macron himself. He inaugurated those bell towers this morning, which had not yet been reopened since these enormous renovations, which followed the fire in 2019 and have actually been completed more or less on time. They said it was going to take 5 years. It's taken just over 5 years, but it happened. You'll remember that it reopened in December 2024, and you couldn't yet access the bell towers at that time. That didn't stop the millions of visitors the cathedral has received since then. As of tomorrow, you can go everywhere inside the building. And France 24's Aurore Cloé Dupuis got a preview. She got to go up and enjoy one of the very best views in Paris. Here's more from her.
You think you know her. Notre-Dame, majestic, mysterious. To uncover her secrets, we head to the South Tower, here on the right. For the very first time, this part of the cathedral is now open to visitors.
This staircase is brand new, and you can still see traces of construction dust.
A double spiral staircase leads us to the Gallery of Chimeras.
They're monstrous, unsettling creatures straight out of the medieval imagination. Just a few years before they were made, Victor Hugo published his famous novel, The Hunchback of Notre-Dame, in 1831. Later, during the cathedral's restoration, these creatures appeared, and it's tempting to think the architects were inspired by the book.
The hawk-headed demon peers down on Paris. The Latin Quarter with the Panthéon and the Sorbonne. Montparnasse Tower. And if we climb just a little higher, to the very top, another great lady. A sweeping panoramic view with the ultimate reward.
This spire was completely rebuilt by artisans after the fire. No one's ever been this close to the spire before, with the apostles around us.
A dizzying tour, always in good company. But you have to earn it, 424 steps up and down again.
At the top, we're 69 meters high. It takes effort, but it puts you right at the heart of the monument.
The 12th century cathedral is getting a makeover. Since the fire in 2019, the bell tower, the vast oak forest, and even the bells have been restored.
Behind us is Emmanuel, Notre-Dame's great bell. It's the biggest, the oldest, the most famous. Cast under Louis XIV, it's marked every major moment in the cathedral's history.
From Napoleon's coronation to the liberation of Paris, each event is punctuated by music.
Nowadays, we can play music throughout the entire heritage site, whereas the first composers could only play for the nave.
Notre-Dame is reinventing herself. Renovations will last until 2030, with plenty more surprises ahead.
So the Heritage Days are not only taking place in the French capital, they're happening all over France and in the overseas department. So do check it out. There might be something open near you if you're in France. It's taking place this weekend.